they have a separate account and a separate institution run for Rotary Foundation. That's the first point that you should know. The second thing that you should know is why should we support Rotary Foundation? There are so many charitable organizations. You can contribute to the church, you can contribute to the mosque or to the temple. Why should you contribute to the Rotary Foundation? Because the simple reason is Rotary Foundation takes your money, and the donated money totally comes back to you for the service projects. If you take any charitable trust, the amount that the government or any institution expects to spend for service projects will be about 70%. If you spend 70% of the money which is contributed to you, that is supposed to be a good charitable trust. But you know what? I don't know whether somebody can answer me. You know how much Rotary Foundation spends from its contribution, the percentage of money which is utilized for service projects? Anybody? You can just answer.
More than 80%.
Anybody? More than 80%. Shivapal, you're very close. You are an RLI man, so you must know the answer. Shanmusundaram?
98%.
98%.
92.
99%.
Spending 2% for expense.
92.
Somebody said 92%. He is right. Oh, that is null, sir. My good friend. Very good. Thank you very much. 92% of the money which is contributed to the foundation is taken up for service activities, which is a huge thing. That is why the charitable charity navigator, which is an assessor of all the charitable organizations in the world, has classified Rotary Foundation with the 4-star rating for the 12th year in succession. The only charitable organization in the world to get consecutively for the 12th year, the charity navigators, the highest recognition, which is 4-star rating. That itself is a big thing. And there is another association which is known as the Association of Fundraising Professionals. That again has rated Rotary Foundation as #1 in the world, and CNBC has rated Rotary Foundation as number 3. So with all these things, what I'm trying to tell you is this Rotary Foundation, we are doing dharma with whatever money that we get. Whatever money that we get goes for good things. So you can confidently give the money. Like, see, if I go to church and if I give money, I know that even 40% of the money will not go for, not more than 40% will go for charitable activity. That is true of any other organization. So you go to any charitable trust, this is the same thing which happens. So Rotary Foundation is a good organization where you can put in your money. See, you have been gifted by God, and you have been given certain benefits. You come up in life, you got a good house, you got a good bungalow, you got a car, you got a good wife, good children. You come up in life. It is high time, and it is time for you to do back something to the society. This is what the Rotary Foundation expects. All the people who are Rotarians, they've come up in life, and this is your time to give back to the society what you can, what you should. So this is the reason why you should contribute to the Rotary Foundation. Now I'll come to the basics of the Rotary Foundation. There are only 4 ways that you can contribute to the Rotary Foundation. Can somebody tell me all the 4 ways? You can unmute yourself and you can tell me what are the 4 ways in which you can contribute to the Rotary Foundation.
Annual program fund.
Annual fund, not program. The program word has been taken off. It's only annual fund. Okay, right.
Polio fund.
Polio plus fund. Okay, fantastic.
Endowment fund.
Endowment fund, number 3. Very good. The 4th one is the tricky one, but just now the governor was talking to you. If you had listened to him carefully.
Direct gift.
CSR fund.
No.
Towards approved global grants.
So all this will come into a particular giving. What is that giving known as? See, your CSR, your directed gift, and your individual contribution or public contribution to the Rotary Foundation for doing a project goes into a particular giving. What is that giving known as?
Targeted giving.
Restricted giving. Who said that? Who said that? Vijayagiri, my good friend. Congratulations. So these are the 4 ways that you can contribute. The annual fund, the endowment fund, Polio Plus fund, restricted giving. Restricted giving is you give it for a particular project. See, in Metupalayam, they have done a huge project. For a mammography project, if I contribute 1 lakh and I want to get the recognition, I can get the recognition for the 1 lakh that I've contributed. At the same time, I give it only for that particular project. Whereas annual fund, you don't name anything, you just give out of love for Rotary Foundation, you give the money to the annual fund. And endowment fund is, it was known as permanent fund. It is there for us to depend on or to lean back on when there is a need. Like COVID-19 is a big issue now. And you want to do big projects, millions of dollars Rotary Foundation is giving out. So when you give out money like that, you need funds. So the permanent fund is there. We are reaching a huge amount. And by 2025, we should reach $2.025 billion. This is what our aim is. So we have about $1.75 billion in the endowment fund. So if with that money, probably you can siphon back from endowment fund to the annual fund to do some of these projects when there is a need. This is a contingency money which is with us. Do you are you clear about this? So these are 4 ways of contribution. I've already told you that. Now there are 4 ways of spending your Rotary money. Your foundation money can be spent in 4 ways. What are the 4 ways of spending this money? Can somebody tell me what are the 4 ways in which you can spend your Rotary Foundation money?
Global grants.
Okay, global grant. Do you specifically say global grant, or you can even say generally grants, because grants has got both district grants and global grants. So you can say you contribute or you do projects through grants. Okay, it can be a district grant, it can be a global grant. Right? Grants number 1.
Scholarship.
Scholarships. Who said scholarships? Balu, very good. Past DRFC, so you should know. So scholarships is number 2. We don't do scholarship because ambassadorial scholarship, you got to contribute or you got to give from your DDF $26,000 every year. For 2 years, you got to give for 1 student. So just imagine, India, most of the districts contribute around 200 to 300,000 for annual fund. After the 3rd year, $100,000 comes to your district designated fund. From the $100,000 for 1 individual, if you spend $52,000, it is not really acceptable to any governor. So nobody will do individual ambassadorial scholarships in India. This is mainly done in the Western countries where they have huge amount of district designated fund because they contribute more to the annual fund. They get 50% of that on the 3rd year and they get a huge fund. Number 3 is, vocational training. Who said VTT?
Shakti Nallasivam.
Oh, Shakti Nallasivam. Very good. Okay, VTT is number 3, where you learn about a vocation going to some other country, or you teach somebody when they come to your country about the vocation that we practice. Like, see, we are very good in medicine. There are medical practices which are done here, which are not done usually in other countries or practiced very well in other countries. So from the other countries like African countries, even European countries, some other countries, they come for obstetrics and gynecology training to our institutions. So you get trained here, or you go to some other country like you go to Holland. Yesterday, Bharatdas was talking about Amsterdam. So this is the best country to learn about water conservation projects and water management, water drainage. So anything to do with water, the best place to go to is Holland. So you go to Holland with a team of 3 to 7 people. There should be 3 Rotarians and you can have any number of non-Rotarians. You go as a team, learn about water management, and then practice that in your place, probably to improve drainage in Madras. Every year we have problem in Madras. You can solve that problem by having a good VTT going from Madras to Holland. That is VTT. Number 4.
Polio.
Polio Plus. Who said that?
Dr. Suresh Babu.
Dr. Suresh. Oh, Suresh. Okay, Suresh, you must tell me something. How many? Polio Plus. you must contribute to Rotary Foundation just to support this one particular program, Polio Plus, because that is our flagship program. Okay, Polio Plus, what is the real status now? Last year, we had a total of 175 cases from only 2 countries, 29 cases in Afghanistan, and the rest of the cases from Pakistan. What does it mean? 136, yeah, 136 cases. 146 cases. 146 cases from Pakistan and 29 cases from Afghanistan. 175 total. What does it mean? Are we in the right track? And I want to ask you another question. Suresh, if you can answer that, you can answer that, or somebody else can answer. Till date, how many cases have we had from January 1st of 2020 to 24th of April, which is almost 4 months? For 4 months, how many cases have we had?
40 cases.
40. Who said 40?
Rajagopal,
you are very, very close to the right answer.
49.
I will never say wrong, because this is a Rotary Leadership Institute program. Everything is right. You are right, or you are very close to the right answer.
Sir,
You are very
49.
close to the right answer.
49. 46 plus 3.
46 plus 3. That's Bharat Das. Give him a big hand. This is the latest. I don't know how he got that latest information. This came out only yesterday. He got that information, and this is the right answer. Afghanistan 3 and 46 in Pakistan, which is very, very sad. You just imagine the cases are going up year after year from Pakistan and Afghanistan. It was just 21, 2017 or 16, 21. From 21, it became 33. Then it became 175. And this year, it has already crossed about 50. And it's likely to cost, in the winter months, it will go more. And it is likely to cost 250 this year. I expect it to cross 250. What are we doing about it? And it's a big problem. Anyway, we will not discuss in a general forum like this, but this thing I can tell you. You got to support the Polio Plus program by contributing to the Polio Plus Fund. All the recognition that you get for Rotary Foundation contribution, you will get if you contribute to the Polio Plus. All your Polaris Fellow, multiple Polaris Fellow, major donor, Arch Club Society, everything. You can get all the recognition for contributing to Polio Plus. So you contribute to Polio Plus. Because the Polio Plus contribution, mainly we are dependent on one person, Bill Gates. Because $1 that we give, he gives $2. So we collect, he has asked us to collect $50 million every year, and he matches that with $100 million. So we get $150 million contribution to Polio Plus program through Rotary Foundation every year. Even annual fund is about 140, last year's statistics, and restricted giving is about $30 million, and the endowment fund is about $50 million. This is a breakup of the contribution. So the Polio Plus contribution will be very high, and it will have to support till we see the last case of poliomyelitis on earth. Then only we can say we can wipe out poliomyelitis totally from the face of earth. Okay, so these are the 4 areas that you do the projects. So I've told you where all you can give money, where all you can do projects. Now we'll come to a little bit about the global grant and the district grant, and then I can finish off. Then probably tell me,
Sir, you have 5 more minutes. You have 5 more minutes.
Okay, yeah. You just raise your hand when it is just 1 minute. I will stop after that. Okay. Okay, Bharat Das.
Okay, carry on, sir.
Right. Okay, talking a little bit about global grant and district grants. District grants can be done without the area of focus. Global grant can be done only in the 6 areas of focus. This is the first point that you should remember. And district grants is done by the district governor from his district designated fund. I already told you district designated fund is 50% of the money that you contribute 3 years back to annual fund. Okay. So if Karthikeyan contributes $1 million, which is pretty possible, $500,000 you will get back in the 3rd year. The lucky person is, I don't know, the lucky person is going to get a hell of a lot of money. So you can do lots of projects. 50% of the DDF or district designated fund the person gets, he can earmark it for district grants. District grants is mainly for the smaller clubs the rural clubs and the emerging clubs. Emerging clubs, I mean the clubs with less than 25 to 35 members. So they cannot hope to do big projects, projects with the financial ask about the $30,000. $30,000 is 22,000 US dollars. So, which is not possible. I mean, 22 lakhs. 22 lakhs rupees is a big ask for any of these smaller clubs in rural areas. So, for the rural areas, for the smaller clubs, to support them and to make them understand foundation can do even good things, even in smaller places, we have the district grants. So, utilize the district grants for doing smaller projects for probably about 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, divide it among the 130 clubs and give, okay, 2 lakhs for you to do a water purifier project and 2 lakhs for you to construct a toilet, 2 lakhs for you to do a books or library project in a school. So like this, you can divide and then give it to smaller clubs. So this is what is district grant. Whereas global grant, you got to do it in 6 areas of focus. I will stop with 6 areas of focus because everybody loves my way of 6 areas, remembering the 6 areas of focus. From childhood, from birth to death, what are the things which are required by a normal human being for his support? That is what the 6 areas of focus is. Number 1 area of focus is the child should be born well and the mother should be all right. So the support of mother and children is number 1. Okay, maternal and child health, number 1 area of focus. Number 2 is once the child is born, you want the child to be healthy. So you give immunization. So disease prevention and health is number 2 priority. Number 3, you want the child to not to get any of these diseases. So you want to give him good water, good food, everything, and good sanitary facilities. So water, sanitation, and hygiene is number 3. And after the child is all right, you send him to school. There comes the 4th one, basic education and literacy, 4th priority. And the 5th one is after this fellow is educated, he finishes his engineering or he finishes his nursing or medical school, he comes out, he'll have to settle down in life. So that is the 5th one, which is community economic development. So you got to economically develop. So everything is developed. You are happy, you're peaceful. So that is the 6th one, peace building and conflict prevention. So these are the 6 areas of focus you can remember very well from childhood to your peace building and conflict prevention.
So what about the next one, eco-friendliness? What about that, Doc?
That has been suggested to the world, but so far it hasn't taken place, mainly because it will have to go to the directors. The 17 RA directors will have to sit together, conduct a meeting, and then see environment can be included as the 7th area of focus. This will happen in October 2020. October 2020 or November, we should get the result that environment will be added as the 7th area of focus. So 6 areas of focus. Now you remember maternal and child health, disease prevention and health, water and sanitation and hygiene. 4th one is basic education and literacy, community economic development. Finally, conflict prevention and peace building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Stay with us. We have lot of questions.
Any question? Any question?
Meanwhile, Sendil is waiting. So let us finish off the Sendil first and then come to you. Sendil, over to you.
Doctor, thank you for the lovely talk.
Sendil, can you finish it off?
Yeah, Bharatji.
Yeah, please come.
Thank you, Bharatji, for giving me this opportunity.
So I am unmuting all. We'll finish off Sendil and then come back. Sorry, muting all. I am muting all. Sendil, you unmute and then talk. Meanwhile, just me remind you that there is an announcement from our DG in the chat box. Over to Sendil.
Thank you, Bharatji. And
can you be a little more audible, a little more louder?
Good evening, friends. Thank you, Bharatji, for giving me this opportunity. And I thank PDGs, District Governor, DRFC, and all the senior Rotarians for participating in this wonderful webinar. First of a lifetime in Rotary Foundation, I'm giving an address through a webinar. here, Dr. George has covered a lot of subjects there, and the DRFC has covered about the CSR activities, and our governor also gave a clear speech about the COVID-19 related global grant. Here, I would like to say one particular thing which district governor said, and Dr. George said, now particularly for this year, there are 3 types of grants. One is the district grant, which we all know. That's the global grant, which we all know. There is a new one which is related to this COVID disaster fund. This is another topic which everyone has to know, and I congratulate our district governor and DRFC for applying for the disaster response grant, COVID-19 response. This is a special grant where all the districts across the world can apply for a $25,000 as a grant. There is no need of any DDF contribution from any of the clubs, any of the districts. And I feel very happy that the governor would have been saying this earlier. But I congratulate our governor and our DRFC in applying, and I have received a list that this COVID disaster response grant has been approved, and I just share you the screen where you can see our district. Just a minute. You can see this is the approved disaster response grant for COVID-19. And here you can see our district has applied to purchase personal protective equipment kit for those affected by COVID-19 in India. And the amount approved is for $25,000. So this is a thing which is new, relatively new to us. And this has been successfully applied, and we have received it. Apart from this, like the CSR fund and the directed gift, we have another concept of this COVID related global grant. For COVID related global grant, there is no need of any contribution from the international partner. So just with the DDF, what the governor is going to give and what the club can give us a cash contribution can be matched by the Rotary International, Rotary Foundation, and give us global grant approval. So there is no need of any contribution from your international partner, just they have to sign in and oversee the project is completed. What else, what are these can be completed? What all can be applied for? Like, you can purchase any medical equipments or personal protective equipments or ventilators, all these things, even establishing an ICU, these are all possible. Like governor was texting to everyone that he is ready to give $5,000 for any global grant which is related to COVID-19. So, and I congratulate all the clubs who have already initiated a COVID-19 grant. For example, Metapalem has already applied and they have been approved. And we have a few projects from Tirupur, even Tirupur South has applied. Rotary Udamalpet Tejas has applied, and Calicut has applied. So there are a lot of opportunities to get an immediate approval on COVID-19 related global grants. So please concentrate on it. And even if the governor says he is exhausted with the DDF, still you can do, if your club is ready to contribute a $30,000 as cash contribution, you can still get another $15,000 match from the Rotary International without any contribution from your international partner. So you can do a project of $45,000 if you can mobilize $30,000, even less. Say if you can have a cash contribution of $20,000, you can get a 10,000 matching fund from the Rotary Foundation, and you can do a project of $30,000. So don't wait for the DDF to be allocated by the governor, because he's already having, he has something which has to be allocated, but I would request, you can pull in $20,000 from your side, from the club side, and apply for a grant. And Rotary Foundation is giving an immediate approval on all the COVID-19 related funds. And about this present scenario, I really congratulate our district governor and DRFC, because we have more than 9 global grants which has been applied, approved, and which is near completion of approval. And I particularly would like to congratulate the Rotarians of Metupalayam and Dr. Vijay Giri for an exemplary execution of a global grant using CSR. Also participate, having partners. This is a wonderful thing. It is better to make them speak, because I always think that the person who executed a global grant has to speak in a foundation seminar, so that they can give us more inputs on how they worked and what are all the problems they faced when they applied, and what all those things can be shared. I request the governor and the meeting organizers to give them a couple of minutes to share their things. Rotarian Padmanabhan from Rotary Payanur has also done a project almost a single-handed way, So there are people who are so experienced, and we can give a couple of minutes so that they can share how they got their international partner and what are the difficulties they faced during applying a global grant. In general, since this is a foundation seminar, I request every one of you who wish to do any of the global grant, first to make a clear chart of the project. You have to identify a particular project. You have to get quotations for each and every equipment what you're supposed to buy, and you have to match out all the expenses. So first thing what you have to do is, don't go to Rotary online and fill in all those things. First you have to do is, you have to self-prepare yourself regarding the project, make a clear writing about it, send to Jennifer Berg and Roy John of South Asia office, so that they'll say whether this is eligible or not. When you apply for a COVID-19, it automatically comes under disease prevention. But many of the projects, we are unable to identify which area of focus we have to apply. So these guidelines can be given by Jennifer Berg, and there are directors, there are staffs who have been appointed by Rotary Foundation, where they can help you on which area of focus the project goes to. So make a clear explanation about your project, then go to Jennifer Berg, ask for everything, and she'll guide you how to fill in the things, and all those things can be guided. The filling up and doing the online